The world is fighting a losing battle against climate change. A new report by the United Nations Climate Science Agency has declared that it is now or never. The report spells out some of the actions needed to be taken in this decade to contain global warming. This is a 10,000-page report. It is a part of a trio of UN reports on climate change. This is the sixth such trilogy since the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change delivered its first report in 1990.
This is a climate emergency. Climate scientists warn that we are already perilously close to tipping points that could lead to cascading and irreversible climate impacts. But high-emitting governments and corporations are not just turning a blind eye. They are adding fuel to the flames. They are choking our planet based on their vested interests and historic investments in fossil fuels, when cheaper, renewable solutions provide green jobs, energy security and greater price stability.
The report says that accelerating global warming could cause profound human misery and ecological disaster. It mentions that there is only one way to avoid catastrophe: by drastically reducing greenhouse gas emissions. Global emissions continue to rise in the last decade and have reached their highest point in history. As a consequence, global emissions are on track to blow past the 1.5 degrees Celsius warming limit, which is envisioned in the 2015 Paris Agreement. The report says that we have reached a point where only severe emission cuts in this decade across all sectors can turn things around. This includes agriculture, transport and energy. If that is achieved, governments would still need to bolster efforts to plant more trees. Countries will be required to develop technology that could remove some of the carbon dioxide already in the atmosphere. After more than a century of industrial activity, the new report highlights a need to cut consumer demands. It says without reduction in energy demands, it would be impossible to reduce emissions rapidly by the end of this decade. The report talks about demand-side mitigation. It places the onus on the governments to pass policies that have a priority on sustainable choices. An example would be investing in bike lanes and public transport without blocking cars from city centres to influence public choices.
This year, not next year, this week, not next week, today, not tomorrow. And that would really be the message. We need to get on with this now, or 1.5 degrees will slip beyond reach.
Meanwhile, the report also highlighted that every corner of the globe is dealing with air pollution, and the problem is much worse in poorer countries. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.